Unbelievable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And fuck our champions! Good up, Pepe! Goal!
It doesn't get any better than that.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Game of Frame live stream. I'm Josh Pratt with Josh Ajokwu on camera, and we're at St John's Belson Stadium tonight for the Pancyprian Freedoms against Richmond County FC in the American Premier Soccer League. We've already seen plenty of action to date. Zoom Snyder beat Nyack in a massive relegation 6-pointer at Travers Island earlier today. That leaves Zoom sitting on 9 points, pulling away from the relegation zone. For Richmond coming into tonight, they are level on points with Nyack, who are just above them at that potential relegation playoff spot. And Central Park Rangers, actually we haven't updated this table for that result yet, but Central Park Rangers just drew 2-2 against New York International. So they are now on 5 points. For the Pancyprians, they are looking to keep their threadbare hopes of a title defence alive. The Greeks slipped up against Vistula, their first drop points of the season in the middle of the week, but they returned to regular programming on Saturday night, beating Lansdowne Yonkers away from home. A massive win once again for the Greeks, who have now beaten all of the rest of the top four in this half of the season. That means if the Pancyprians win tonight, they can close a 10-point gap to 7. It's still a gulf. It's going to take something special from them to turn it around. The only team in APSL history to win the league, having lost 3 games, is Doxa. They did it in 21-22, and they only managed that by winning every other match. So no room for error for the Pancyprians. They're going to have any chance of catching the Greek Americans. And Richmond will certainly be delighted with any points tonight. This is probably the toughest field in the APSL Metro to come, even with the Pancyprians a little out of sorts this season so far. Richmond's visit here a year ago, they were comfortably beaten, but the two sides drew in spring, a really crucial point that helped Richmond avoid relegation in their first season in the APSL. It was a classic, and Richmond masterfully pulled off an underdog upset against the Pancyprians, defended compactly, took their chances when they were presented, and honestly had 1 or 2 opportunities on the break even to nip it, but they're going to need to be on their absolute A game to get anything out of these Pancyprians tonight, who looked much more back in sorts last week in the Anissa Manning Cup against Zoom Snyder, who they comfortably dispatched at Roosevelt Island 4-0. Our teams are lining up, and just bear with me for a second, guys. Just got the numbers from the players. So just going to quickly figure out who's who. Big night for the Pancyprians. try and keep some sort of pace with the unrelenting Greeks. And Richmond once again looking like they're going to be in the thick of the relegation scrap. They went into the Christmas break last year with 9 points. Still have time to reach that tally. If they don't, they really might be in trouble as they look to the second half of the season. Amir Islami, I think, will kick us off here. Richmond County in the orange, the Pancyprians in the blue. Two teams at either end of the table with different aspirations, but no less important for either team a result tonight. And here's the man who Richmond County have back in the side this evening, who could prove very useful, Dylan Meadows, and he's whipped it in towards Islami. He couldn't get his first touch right, but Meadows, a big part of that rally last spring that saved Richmond. Levine whips it out to Eric Frimpong. And our starting 11s for the Pancyprians, it's a change shape tonight. Joe Holland going with a 3-5-2. Josh Levine in goal, of course. Jens Hoff, Cederberg and Devon Hinu, the centre backs. Eric Frimpong will be on the right wing back. O'Connell, who was excellent last weekend, got 2 fantastic assists, will be on the left wing back. Those two are going to have a lot of licence to go forwards, which I'm sure they'll take advantage of. Jordan Bailon in the defensive midfield position. Philippe Merkovic and Victor Castell once again start in front of Bailon. And then Alex Pallas in the starting 11 tonight. He's been in and out of the squad. He will be alongside the top scorer, Tristino, who has scored 5 goals in his last 5 games and 3 against Richmond last season. Snipped back by Dylan Meadows. Lovely feet by Sal Barone. And for Richmond County, we're going to have Adamovi, long-time player between the sticks, dating back to the Richmond's Metropolitan Soccer League days. He's going to be in goal. La Rose, Kane and Turley, the back 3. Richmond also playing with a back 3. And then Lewis Cueva at the left wing back. Peter Gini at right wing back. Sal Barone and Kaliu the midfield, and then it's a front 3 for Richmond. Dylan Meadows on the left, Amir Islami in the middle, and Gio Barone on the right flank. Now it's sent towards Gio Barone, who's got hold of it. Kaliu in towards this, Dylan Meadows even, who's ghosted into the middle. Genie brings it down. Barone, most of the first 2.5 minutes played in the Pancyprians half. Positive start by Richmond. Josh Levine a long way out of his goal. Unable to clear it down the line. Dylan Meadows couldn't find the feet of Sal Barone. Driven up by Devon Hino. What a pass to Tristino. The bounce just caught out James Tristino. Pancyprians love that diagonal ball, especially at St John's, where the width really encourages it. Cederberg sticking closely to Dylan Meadows. O'Connell, a little sloppy with the ball, and then he committed a foul on that far side, I think, against Peter Genie. Yes, there was Genie who's brought down there. Richmond County haven't played for a few weekends with the cup, a few weeks of the cup breaks. So their last game, I believe, was the 26th of October against Vistula, which they won 5-2 at Owl Hollow. Their only win so far this season. Recorded 3 other draws, including against Lansdowne Yonkers. Here's Islami, who's got devastatingly good footwork. Barone. Barone. Trying to find the feet of Kueva. Balon fires it back into Frimpong. Does it well. Merkovic spins on a dime and ranges the pass out to Alex Pallas. His first chance to drive a Richmond's back line. Pallas onto his left foot towards the far post, and Tristino was not far away from a tap in at that back post. So often James Tristino finds himself at the right place at the right time with those poacher's instincts. It's just a fraction behind the ball by Pallas, who may have been aiming for the far post himself, perhaps for Tristino. Either way, end up going wide. Really good play by Merkovic initially to spin and fire that ball out to Pallas. Merkovic, one of many newcomers for the Pancyprians this season, and it's taken him maybe a little bit of time to settle in the Pancyprian shirt, but he's a player full of quality. It's an MLS draft pick. Jens Hoff. Merkovic. Cederberg into Jens Hoff. Hinu. Victor Castell. Pallas. Couldn't find O'Connell. Kaliu. And Junior was closed down by O'Connell, but he will get a throw in for Richmond. Jens Hoff. That's a cool evening in November. It's, sitting about 40 degrees. Also, at times the wind is really gusting here as Jens Hoff picks it up. Castell onto his right foot. Victor Castell closed down by Kalio. Peter Gini trying to drive towards the counter-attack, snuffed out by Devin Hinu. Balon drills it back to Hinu. His first touch let him down. One player Richmond will certainly miss tonight is Mamadou Ba, new signing who made quite an impact, scoring a hat-trick against Vistula on his debut. It's going to be a corner kick on that far side for Richmond. Lucas Gia Barone making a nuisance of himself. Actually, I think it might have been Islami. Look, I have to see on the far side. Yeah, it was Islami.
I'll move on the other side. Sorry about that. No problem.
Richmond did score off of a set piece in the last meeting towards the 6-yard box. That was a very useful ball. Here come the Pancyprians looking to break. Pallas. Well, Castoven looking up for Pallas. Good alert defending by Turley. Swung in. No one had really gambled in an orange shirt. Again, not a bad cross necessarily. Jordan Balon wearing the captain's armband once again for the Pancyprians. Tried to force the pass, cut out by Kane. And you come up over the summer for Richmond. Barone looking towards Islami. The space was there, was well read by Ricard Cederberg. As Meadows in it, should be, he was ghosting in from that left side. Hinu. Palace looked for a clever flick, didn't pay off.
Lewis, get high and wide. Lewis, get high and wide.
Sal Barone. Meadows. Islami back to Meadows.
Somebody give us that. That's fine, that's fine.
He was searching for that space behind Lewis. Whoever wasn't on the same wavelength. I think Richmond will be relatively encouraged by these first 10 minutes. They've had plenty of the ball. Most of the play has been in the Pancyprians half thus far.
Yes, Peterson, talk, yes.
The only game Pancyprians have lost here in the last 18 months was a few weeks ago against Lansdowne, who did beat them by a 3-goal margin. Excellent performance by Lansdowne, and the Pancyprians were decidedly flat that night. But it's few and far between the occasions the Pancyprians don't have their way at St John's. That's the good ball. Out to Victor Castell. Hinu. Cederberg. James Tristino. Inviting Frimpong forwards, who's happy to take the invitation, and that took a deflection off of Turley and really could have gone anywhere. Thankfully, from his perspective, went wide of the near post, and the Pancyprians will get their first corner kick of the evening. Filip Merkovic is the set piece taker of choice. It'll be an outswing up towards the penalty spot. Tristino Rose, he had to generate a lot of power to cause trouble there. Headed out on the edge of the 6-yard box instead. Devin Hinu will put it back into the mix-up. Taken first time, it might forward to James Tristino. Flag stayed down, and Tristino missing a golden chance there. Ricard Cederberg with the first swipe at it, didn't catch it, but very nearly. Turned out to be the perfect assist for Tristino, who by his standards really should have finished that. LaRose into Turley. 4 of the 5 in the back line for Richmond tonight are new signings for this season. Here's Amir Islami's taken that into spell well. Looking back inside, it's Dylan Meadows. Narrow angle Meadows, put towards Islami! 1-0 Richmond! A lightning break! The Staten Islanders have come out flying from the gates. Beautiful combination play between Amir Islami and Dylan Meadows. They cut the Pancyprians wide open.
Lewis, Damien, talk and focus.
And are we in for an upset here at St John's? Well, Richmond did take the lead against the Pancyprians in the last meeting at Owl Hollow. And the Pancyprians turned it around quickly to go 2-1 up. So Richmond will to manage these next few minutes very carefully, but they've come here with a purpose. They've made a decent start and they've scored a very good counter-attacking goal here. This is awkward for Peter Genie, rescued by LaRose. Castell looking for the handball. Curlew, I think, saying he couldn't have done a lot about that. Referee not interested.
Hey, one coming in, one coming in.
Merkovic will take this free kick. Swung in towards the 6-yard box. Tristino! Adamovi with the cat-like reflexes. You never would suspect it with Adamovi's build these days, but he has got the lightning reflexes still, even at his more advanced age as well. It's really quite remarkable, and that was a point-blank save to deny Tristino an immediate response. Hino with the header, Merkovic. Good interchange in the middle. Castell surging forwards, Victor Castell still with it. Castell! Adamovi called into action again. There was some sting behind the strike, but relatively comfortable height for Hermes Adamovi. And Cyprians not pulling their punches as they look for a quick response. Castell has scored in the last 2 league games for the Pancyprians.
Your ball, Dylan, your ball.
Jens Hoff, and it's turned over by Gio Barone. Looked in towards Dylan Meadows and he couldn't get a touch on it. Cederberg on his back, just leant in. But huge question marks right now with the Pancyprians back line to deal with this Richmond counter-attack. Here's Stephen O'Connell. Breathless football at the moment at St John's. Corner kick. I thought it might be a little bold from Richmond to go with the front three, given the Pancyprians were playing the more advanced formation, but on the counter-attack is leaving Richmond with 3-on-3 situations, or even better numerically. The corner swung in, Adamovi punching it, not that convincingly, hooked back in towards the far post, headed up. Hino keeps it alive and Merkovic back in. Tristino has had a couple of chances already. Not the easiest head of that one, couldn't quite lift over it. Jordan Balon. Bokanovic, incensed he didn't get a free kick there. Play goes on. Here's Islami. Genie looking in the middle towards Dylan Meadows, and Meadows is frequently making that run in centrally from the left wing. And that's not the first time he's found himself in behind Ricard Cederberg. Pancyprians had the best defence in the APSL Metro Division last season. Kept 11 clean sheets. But they have looked more open, certainly.
I'm here. A little more here.
And the Pancyprians have already conceded 11 goals in 8 games. And again, just seeing that perhaps defensive frailties in the team. Eric Frimpong off with his first touch. Throwing down the line. Eric Frimpong getting the free kick. There's Hoff. Tristino searching for Castell, couldn't connect with him. Here's Dylan Meadows. Clever ball to Gio Barone. Forced back by Hinu initially. Barone twisting and turning. And Sal Barone, that was moving. You could see it, knuckleball in the air. Frimpong. It's been an entertaining start here at St John's. There's Lamy giving Richmond the advantage, capitalising on a beautiful counter-attack. Plenty of chances at either end already, just in these first 21 minutes. O'Connell couldn't keep that in. And guys, today's broadcast is sponsored by Umbro Premier, who are celebrating 100 years of football. You can find out more by scanning the QR code or clicking on the link. Big thank you to them for supporting the broadcast. Nicely worked on the far side by the Pancyprians. Driven up by Peter Gini. Cederberg will bring it down. Bailon. Victor Castell. Always putting the strings in the Pancyprians midfield. Gets it again. That's a good idea by Bailon. Didn't get enough power on the pass, but Gini heavy with his touch. It's Hinu towards the far post. They're queuing up. Tristino left it. It comes to Palace. Eric Frimpong. Scratched that shot. Well wide in the end.
Clear.
Crosses causing Richmond a lot of trouble early on. Very early in the evening, if this result holds, the Pancyprians will be left 10 points adrift of the Greek Americans before we even reach the halfway point in the season. That will well and truly bury their title race, but just hang on a second. Good cut out in the middle by LaRose. And for Richmond, again, a lot left to go in the evening, but if this result holds, they jump up to 8th place, level with Zoom Snyder on 9 points. I'll go 4 points clear of the relegation zone, and CPR, who are at the bottom of the table. Those two teams already played each other in the first half of the season. On opening day, it was a draw at Al Hollow. LaRose. Sabrone's got a lot of space in the middle here. There's Lamy. Or Giabronium, excuse me. Here's Dylan Meadows.
Stay wide, Lewis.
Gio Barone. Sal Barone. And Meadows coming into the 18-yard box. Down to the byline. Cederberg going down, and Meadows had a little tug at the shoulder.
Dylan, try to get on 15.
He knew.
Get on 15. Yep.
Filip Merkovic. Castell. Surging past the orange shirts. Still Victor Castell. What a run this is. Victor Castell! I think that was a fingertip save by Adamovi. Castell taking on Richmond defenders in 2s and 3s.
Be confident. Okay.
It wasn't the hardest shot by Castell, but it was well placed going into that bottom left corner. Adamovi getting his fingertips onto it. Markovic again will serve it up. Adamovi got a really good hand on that. And Kaleo is not going to take any chances.
Get organized. Lewis, talk. Damien, talk.
Josh Levine. So talking about the Pancyprians' defensive woes. Of 11 games this season, just hang that thought for a second. Of 11 games this season, they have only managed to keep 2 clean sheets now. Radically different from the previous campaign. Jordan Balon.
Yes, Lewis, yes.
It's strange actually, because I made a lot this season of all the changes in the Pancyprian squad, but one thing that hasn't really changed for them has been the back line. Hoff, Hinu and Cederberg all returners, and Jack Sloyce has been in there a fair bit, and this man Balon usually in front of them. The wing backs, both their new signings, O'Connell and Eric Frimpong, but the base of the defence, returners. Lovely touch by Gio Barone. Peter Gini inside, and the ball was returned to Peter Gini, who was floored. The referee was well positioned, linesman was well positioned, and neither were moved. Castell, this time he overran it. Dylan Meadows. Islami racing forwards. Look at that from Eric Frimpong. Exhibition footwork. Merkovic into Alex Pallas. James Tristino. Merkovic. O'Connell. There wasn't the right pass.
It's not me, you're too far.
Driven up. Hoff. That ball falls to Tristino. Kaleo snuck up behind him. Islami.
Get back, Dylan, get back.
Jens Hoff winning the 50-50. Kaleo not giving up on it.
Well done. Sal, don't leave the center too much.
Jordan Balon. It's a good switch to Eric Frimpong, left by Alex Pallas. Frimpong just slightly stepped on that ball, checking him back, and Richmond doubling up on him. Merkovic swings it in towards the far post. Headed clear. Kaliu back to Peter Gini. Islami, look at that. For a first touch from Amir Islami, superb by the number 10. Touch the night so far there by Islami. Turley. Kaliu. And dare I say that, as we approach the half-hour mark, Richmond, you probably would say, have been slightly the better side, besides their well-taken goal. Still plenty of the time for the Pancyprians to change their fortunes.
Watch 11. Yes, yes. Amir, this way. Amir, shift this way.
Frimpong.
Well done, well done.
Hinu gives it to Jens Hoff. Victor Castell. Switch to Eric Frimpong. There's a really poor cross by Frimpong, straight into the hands of Adamovi. Stay tuned next week. We're going to have plenty more APSL action coming up, including in the middle of the week, Hoboken against Vistula. Hoboken, perhaps the last really serious title contender for the Greeks, at least at the moment, in terms of the point tally. Lansdowne and Pancyprian very much in the periphery at the moment, unless the Greeks slip up. But Hoboken, if they win their game in hand, will be within 3 points of the Greek Americans. Hoboken only losing a single game this season, that was against the Greeks, and perhaps the match of the season so far. 5-4 it finished. We'll have Zoom hosting Richmond County on Thursday evening at Rizla Island, and back here at St John's with the Pancyprians against Nyack on Sunday. Should also note, next weekend is Open Cup weekend, and we're going to have Zoom Snyder against New York Renegades at 7 p.m. on Sunday night at Jack McManus Field. Whoever wins that goes to Open Cup. That's sent in towards Tristino, who got a touch on it. A fractional touch. Couldn't tuck it in, but once again, a beautiful cross in. I think it was Hinu who struck that. Tristino couldn't quite tuck it in. Lovely touch by Gia Brown, but Cleo couldn't keep hold of it. Hinu.
Well done, Amir, I love it.
Cederberg.
Baby, you tuck in. You're too far from the
Jens
ball.
Hoff. Cut up by Kaliu. Meadow. Kaliu. Tackled by Hinu. Murkovic. O'Connell with pace. Adamovi got a hand to it.
Lewis, get wide.
And Richmond escape. Perhaps with more. Islami.
Come on, Dylan.
Gilberone.
You got time. Shoot that.
Salbarone, there's an overload on the left side. Salbarone on his right foot, didn't catch it well. And an easy save for Levine. It just opened up there for Salbarone. If he caught it a little better, could have really caused some issues. Murkovic. Castell. Salaming between the midfielders once again. Balon. Hinu gets it back from O'Connell. Eric Frimpong. Richmond backing off of Eric Frimpong. Alex Pallas.
Let's go, Lewis. Right phone, Lewis.
Murkovic. Balon. Richmond camped on the edge of their penalty area.
Well done, boys.
Jordan Balon. Give and go. Balon. Tristino. Lovely touch. James Tristino. It's fantastic.
Well done, baby.
And LaRose with the recovery. The crucial recovery. Tristino with exquisite aerial play. Looked like Dennis Burkamp there for a second. LaRose explosive with his acceleration to recover. And it's just a corner kick. Murkovic, Adamovi punching. He really does not look comfortable with the crosses to Adamovi. I'm not sure if he's caught one yet. Frimpong keeps the life for the Pancyprians. Jordan Balon. Murkovic towards the far post. Hoff stayed in there.
Goal kick.
And it's going to be another corner kick for the Pancyprians. Adamovi just to have got a hand on it. The Pancyprians have very clearly clocked the weakness from Hermes Adamovi with these crosses. Doesn't have a lot of height. And he is showing also just the discomfort with his handling. It's inviting these crosses in. Markovic swings it in. Jens Hoff got under it, couldn't connect. And Devon Hinu will win another corner kick for the Pancyprians. Castell this time takes it. Wasn't a good corner. Comes on the edge to Eric Frimpong. And Victor Castell, I think, knew he was offside. And opted to leave it.
Switch the goal kick. Peterson, take the goal kick.
Goal kick taken after some delay. Dylan Meadows. Whoever. Islami's first touch showed too much to Jordan Balon. Lovely interchange with Frimpong. Murkovic. That ball cut out. Good press by Gio Barone. Islami misjudged it, but it'll come away to Kaliu. Barone ran into trouble with his footwork. Here's Murkovic. Castell. Acres of space for Alex Pallas on that right side. And Pallas is onside. He's got a few options in the middle. Pallas whips it in. And Kane got an important touch with Tristino on the prowl behind him. Castell. Just possessed by Turley. Meadows. Peter Gini back to Kane. That was a little naughty by O'Connell. The wind has died down quite a lot these last 15 or so minutes. It was absolutely howling earlier today. Down at Randall's Island this afternoon, and it's almost non-stop gusts of 30 miles per hour. Balon. Merkovic. Devin Hinu. O'Connell. Swung in, cut out by LaRose. Peter Gini gives it back to LaRose. Peter Gini, fortunate to win the throw in there. Richmond were a little penned in. Kaliu and Islami clever. Meadows racing after it. That's a really poor bit of distribution. Can Richmond punish? It's Sal Barone. It's whoever. Stuart Levine saves it and cleared out by Balon. Whoever drilled it low and true. There's a smart save by Josh Levine. I think it was his thigh in the end that did the job. Very easy for the keeper to let that squirm under him, but he made himself as big as he could. That will be a corner kick, I think. Well, that's not a good decision at all. I can see from here that the final touch came off of Cederberg. And it's Hoff. As we approach this half-time whistle, Richmond, well, I think Owen will be very, very pleased with this first half performance. Looked dangerous on the break. Relatively compact defensively, with the exception of the extreme vulnerability they've shown to crosses. Had to make a few last-ditch interventions as well to stop Pancyprian breakthroughs on the ground, but overall they've stood the test defensively. They've just got a few minutes on this first half to see out. Richmond, have never beaten a top 4 side in the APSL. They've drawn against Lansdowne twice. They drew against the Pancyprians. But a victory has eluded them, as it does so many teams. You have to remember that these are giants of New York soccer, names like the Pancyprians, Lansdowne and Greeks, indeed, giants of pre-professional national soccer. Kaliu. Played Peter Jr. under a little pressure. Jordan Balon. Tristino. Surrounded by orange shirts. Kaliu teamed up on in 4s or 5s. Barone raking ball forwards to Peter Gini. Good flick on by MG. Barone. Barone able to spin. Looking towards the edge of the area. It's Lamy. It's whoever again, cuts it back inside, and Islami! It took a deflection off Frimpong, and another good chance for Richmond goes begging. Twice it's come to Suever in really dangerous positions these last few minutes. Both times no dice for what would be a priceless second goal here at St John's. I think, to be fair, that shot from Islami was probably going wide before it took a deflection off Frimpong.
Don't get dragged out! Don't get dragged out!
Alex Pallas, he finds James Tristino. Tristino floating it in.
Don't foul, don't foul!
Murkovic will win it back, but really good defending by LaRose. And no chances taken by Kane. As we tick into stoppage time of this first half. I can't imagine we'll have a whole lot. No real delays other than for Richmond celebrating their goal. Bailon. Hat clear by Kane. Bailon. And then LaRose. Hoff wins the 50-50. Hinu. Good chink of the hips. Castell forced backwards. Jens Hoff. O'Connell. There's just so many orange shirts between the Pancyprians and Richmond's goal. Hoff. Bailon. Castell. O'Connell. Rose there to meet it, and anywhere will do for Richmond. As the half-time whistle finally comes for Richmond, who are 1-0 up here at St John's Belston Stadium. Their first goal at this stadium. It was a really well taken one. Amir Islami and Dylan Meadows combining on the counter-attack. Islami find the finish 14 minutes in. There's been plenty of chances at either end. Pancyprians will count themselves unfortunate not to have a goal to their name, but also Richmond will be feeling a little aggrieved not to have found the second. They've had the opportunities to give themselves a cushion. It's a big team talk for Joe Holland. This is the Pancyprians' title challenge, about to be dead and buried if they can't turn this into a victory somehow or other. They will be 10 points adrift of the Greeks after 9 games to play, but it's a game of 2 halves. We'll see what the second 45 has in store for us. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back shortly.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top It's super easy to open, to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential. Hello everyone, welcome back to Roosevelt, John Belson Stadium. Even excuse me. Richmond County with a slender 1-goal lead against all expectations. James Tristino will kick us off in the second half. Now, Pancyprians have to find their way back into this, or they are 10 points away from the Greeks and already slim hopes of defending the APSL title are dead and buried. For Richmond, how priceless could these 3 points be? Both sides are unchanged by the looks of it. Jordan Balon drilling it towards Alex Pallas. That's a useful ball. Flag stays down. Murkovic. Not a good pass, and the attack fizzles out. Jens Hoff. Not the right pass at all by Stephen O'Connell. Excuse me, I think there has been one change to the Pancyprians at centre back. We'll have a look at it in a sec. Perhaps Joe Holland has changed the shape here. I think he might have switched the Pancyprians to a back four. That 3-5-2 shape in the first half wasn't really working, at least offensively. Richmond had a couple of really good chances. So it's Thomas Gray who's come on at centre back. He's replaced Hinu. Gray, a returner from last season, but this is his first appearance, I believe, of the season tonight for the Pancyprians. Ricard Cederberg has gone up to defensive midfield, which Holland has opted for at times. Right out by Jens Hoff. Thomas Gray. Bit of a hospital ball to Cederberg, and he's lost it. It's Kaliu. Turley. Gio Barone. Got caught with a high foot. Referee unmoved. Alex Pallas. Frimpong. Jordan Balon. O'Connell. Alex Pallas. Cederberg drills it out to Eric Frimpong. Frimpong with the sharp footwork. Eric Frimpong coming into the area. Stopped by Turley. And Dylan Meadows will bring it forwards. He's got breathtaking pace, Meadows, and he's shredded for a second Jens Hoff, but the ball got stuck under his feet and Hoff able to recover. Eric Frimpong. Cederberg. That's clever. Tristino might be onside here. I think he's being played on by Peter Gini, who had failed to step up with the rest of the line. Richmond getting away with it there. Fit to Castell, riding a few tackles. That looked like a foul as well. Referee has been a little whistle shy at times. Amir Islami racing forwards. And he clipped the heels there. Jens off, no doubt about that. We're going to see our first change. Oh, sorry, a second change for the Pancyprians. Looks like Sebastian Ruiz, who's already played tonight for Renegades, who progressed through their last 32 in the UPSL national game. So Ruiz, not with the freshest legs, but they are very useful legs nonetheless. He's going to go onto the right wing. Cederberg. Sebastian Ruiz. Back to Frimpong. Richmond don't have a particularly deep bench tonight, so that will be another question mark that's asked of the visitors as the Pancyprians probe them later into the half. How have Richmond's legs held up? They perhaps want to be a little bit more careful with the ball, that if they end up chasing too much, it's just more they're going to be worn down. Frimpong. Jordan Balon. Jordan Balon. Frimpong. Forced back, and here comes the cross. There's the header for Castell, who couldn't keep over the ball. Well brought down by Thomas Gray. Jens Hoff into O'Connell. Cederberg. Cederberg. Jens Hoff. Feels a little bit like cat and mouse at the moment. Richmond sitting with deep lines. Not really showing much of their tummy to the Pancyprians. Sebastian Ruiz, certainly capable of unlocking any defence. Cederberg. And he finds Stephen O'Connell. Castell. Hoff. Great. There's the Colombian Sebastian Ruiz. Ruiz still with it. Dylan Meadows doing the tracking back and very well. Well, Richmond can't escape their half at the moment. No outlet with how deep they're sitting. Swung in. Markovic couldn't get his bearings. Rose pokes it out. One back by Jordan Balon. Rides one tackle and gets it again. It's Stephen O'Connell. Couldn't tuck it into that near post. Ended up being a foot or so wide. Frimpong heads it to Sebastian Ruiz. How much pace is on that right flank now for the Pancyprians? Merkovic. O'Connell. Victor Castell. Drifting past his defenders. Peter Gini strong and resolute. And that will be a throw-in for Richmond County. Great. That's not a good ball. Dylan Meadows. Here comes the Richmond counter-attack. It's Meadows. Searching for Islami. They weren't quite on the same wavelength, or even Sabarone, I think he was searching for. Ranging ball out to Sebastian Ruiz, who's kept it in. Heavy touch. LaRoche is going to try and let this run out. I'm not sure Luis is going to be obliging. It's a huge error. It's Tristino! Oh, it's a gift of an equaliser for the Pancyprians. A horrible moment for LaRose. You just cannot do that at this level. Not with Ruiz breathing down your back. It's Tristino 6 and 6. And all of Richmond's hard work undone by a terrible slip up. Tristino's phenomenal scoring form against Richmond continues. He's now scored 4 in 3 meetings. Markovic, and how does that goal change the psychology of this game? That Pancyprians were just struggling a little bit to unlock this Richmond defence, mind you, with plenty of time still to go, but just how will that affect the visitors mentally? It's a cruel way to concede. Also, that goal only making the job half done for the Pancyprians. They need the 3 points. And Coach Halbakanovic has sent his bench into motion upon that equaliser. Amir Islami. It's a bit of an overload on the left side. There's a really poor ball by Islami. He's cut out by Frimpong. Sebastian Ruiz making his mark already, the Colombian. He's found Merkovic, lovely dummy. Tristino sets it back. Jordan Bailon, Victor Castell, the Pancyprians finding a new gear here. Castell towards the far post. It comes on the edge to Cederberg. Cederberg trying to force his way through and just past the far post. Here's LaRose, who's got to get his head back into the game quickly after that error. Happens to the best of us. Sebastian Ruiz. Jens Hoff into Merkovic. Teamed up on. He wanted a free kick. Referee didn't agree. Gia Barone. Not the right pass to Islami. Sabarone. That's better. Khalil helps it out to Peter Gini. Back into Sabarone or Giabarone even. Peter Gini. Thomas Gray, a little hesitant, but will clear it. Kane. Sabarone into Kaliu. Barone into Sabarone. Kaliu. Peter Gini. Kane. Just got a little too tight there, the space, Richmond. And now the Pancyprians look to break. Murkovic behind Sebastian Ruiz with that pass. Ruiz will keep it in. Frimpong. Ruiz. Balon kicking that with his shins. Switch towards Peter Gini. Going to bring it down. Guys, remind today's broadcast sponsored by Android Premier, who are celebrating 100 years of football. You can learn more by scanning the QR code. Big thank you to them for being the exclusive presenting partner of Game of Frame for the 25-26 season. Eric Frimpong. Searching ball towards Balon, overhits. Barone. Overcomplicating it and couldn't find the outlet. Thomas Gray. Hoff. Sebastian Ruiz. Gray into the feet of Murkovic. Good awareness by Filip Murkovic. It's Ruiz. Back into Murkovic. Filip Murkovic cannoned off of Kane. And Gio Barone brings it out. Dylan Meadows. Tried to force the switch, and you know it's going to pay off. Frimpong couldn't stop it. So whoever cuts it back. Kaliu on the turn. Kaliu again. Couldn't squeeze it in that front post. They cannot take your eye off of this contest. Very finely balanced now after the Pancyprians equaliser. Joe Holland's going to make his third change. 60. Castell is going to make way. And Juan Moreno replacing him. Here's Jordan Balon, the skipper, very advanced. He's been in good scoring form, Balon, this season. 4 goals in all competitions. Scored in the last 2 matches as well, in the Easter Cup against Sim Snyder, and then in the league as well against Leros, and that dramatic comeback win for the Pancyprians. I should note that the Pancyprians would not have panicked going down after being 3-1 down against Leros a few weeks ago in the league with just 20 minutes left, and they found a way to come away with the win out of that. It's sent across. Tristino got the slice of touches on it. Adamovi with the save. Murkovic. O'Connell. Juan Moreno. O'Connell again. Heavy pressure on Cederberg. Ball will end up falling fortuitously to Moreno. Switched out to Eric Frimpong. Lovely touch by Ruiz. Good defensive work by Dylan Meadows. O'Connell. Moreno. Jens Hoff. Markovic unable to get his first touch on that. Sent down the line. Dylan Meadows will race after it. Meadows with it. He's just got his limey at the moment in the middle to aim for. And there's a bit of space at the far post now. Meadows looking towards it. It's Gio Barone. Sets it back. Sal Barone caught that really well, but straight into the hands of Josh Levine. That was certainly moving though. Sweetly hit. And coach Halbrokanovich is going to make his first substitution in a second. Juan Moreno. A little less than 25 minutes remaining here at St. John's. Here's Amir Islami. He's got Meadows on the overlap. That space well covered by Thomas Gray. We're going to see a double change for Richmond. Amir Islami and Sal Barone are the numbers called. Islami scoring the opener. Inside 14 minutes. We'll get a look in a second at who's come on by their numbers, but it looks like a straight positional switch. So it's Bradley Espezio who's come on at centre forwards. Comes Ruiz, well stopped by whoever. Gio Barone. So Bradley Espeo up front. We've got a little clip there by Great. Play continues, and the other change for Richmond, Andrea Ruggiero. O'Connell. Cederberg strong, but he had Kailiu on his back as well. Cueva. Sounds like Pablo Ablanedo's been asked to strip down from Joe Holland. So centre midfielder Ablanedo. Kane getting under that ball. Gray meeting it. Cederberg composed. Frimpong's going to find James Tristino. Ruiz is on his bike. Wasn't a good pass by Tristino. The gap was there, you know. LaRose dealing with that very competently. Dylan Meadows dinks it towards Espeo, and the referee is going to spot the linesman's flag.
Let's go, Blue, hurry up! Hurry up, hurry up!
Frimpong. O'Connell. Great. Draws it diagonal. It's a good pass, Sebastian Ruiz. Into Merkovic. Merkovic escaped LaRose initially, and then a good recovery by LaRose. Merkovic trying to buy himself a penalty. On first glance, I thought that was a fair tackle, but from a rather distant position. Peter Gini. O'Connell winning that 50-50, and Peter Gini got knocked inadvertently by O'Connell in the afters and landed a little awkwardly there. "20 minutes remaining. All level here. Gray turning into some trouble there. Gio Barone is going to buy Richmond a corner very cannily, and I think this is Richmond's first corner of the second half. It's a low ball, awful ball, and very comfortable for Moreno. Dylan Meadows keeps it alive. LaRose wants to be careful with Sebastian Ruiz on his back. After the last time that happened, Ruiz ended up pickpocketing and getting the equaliser set up for the Pancyprians. Moreno couldn't get his feet sorted out. Well managed there by Cederberg and Thomas Gray. Here's Jens Hoff surging forwards. Switch to the far side. Moreno can have a go here at Peter Gini. Moreno, dangerous ball. Cleared out by Turley. Good crossfield switch by O'Connell. Frimpong. Merkovic onto his left foot. Balon looking for the clever touch. Howls for a handball from the Pancyprians. It was very close there to Kane. Obviously couldn't see at all in real time. It's another appeal for handball there. Referee again not interested. Pancyprians' grievances growing. O'Connell. Just wonder if Richmond's legs are beginning to tire here. Gio Barone looks dead on his feet. Here's Juan Moreno, another crack at Gini, whips it in. Header out by Kane at the expense of a corner kick. And now we're going to have a change for each team. As I think could be expected. Gio Barone will be withdrawn and Richard Cederberg is going to come off Ablanado. What can Merkovic conjure up from this corner? Adamovi swinging again wildly. Tristino tucks it in. He's done it again against Richmond. And the Pancyprians have flipped an APSL game on its head once again. It's another moment to forget defensively for Richmond. They will be killing themselves if this is how they lose this game. Two errors, Alamovi with the howler as he tried to punch that out, and Tristino could scarcely believe his luck, but they all count in the end. Quarter of an hour remaining here. It's 2-1 to the Pancyprians, who once again, from a losing position, have seemingly rescued victory. It's Still some time though for Richmond. There's Valery Saramutin, the Russian, who's come on for Gio Barone. Ruggiero, not with the right pass. O'Connell. And reminding you guys, we've got much more APSL action coming up next week. Wednesday night, Hoboken looking to get within 3 points of the Greek Americans. What a season Hoboken have had. They are well and truly in the title race this season. They will be hosting Vistula, their fellow New Jersey side, who did manage to get a shot point against the Greeks last Wednesday. So that could be an interesting clash. Zoom will host Richmond at Roosevelt Island on Thursday night. Let's just hang on a second here. Saramutin trying to force his way through. He wasn't able to. Pancyprians will be back here at St. John's against Nyack on Sunday night. Also should mention, we're going to have among many games next weekend, Zoom Snyder hosting Renegades 7 p.m. Sunday evening at Roosevelt Island in the Open Cup. That's the final qualifier. Whoever wins will be going to the big leagues to play against professional clubs. Here's Jordan Balon. Renegades qualifying last year for the first time in their history. They beat Lansdowne on a penalty shootout. And Renegades once again have gone through Greek Americans and Lansdowne to make it this far. It could turn into quite a full season for Renegades after a really slow start in their league season in the UPSL. They won their national last 32 playoff this afternoon. They're in the final qualifying round of the Open Cup. Perhaps things are clicking for them when it matters most. Peter Gini has been taken off. Not the right pass by O'Connell. Switched across to Dylan Meadows. Can Richmond pull a point at the bag? Saramutin's cross blocked. And this game has thus far followed the script of the previous meeting at Owls Hollow in May very similarly. Richmond took an early lead. James Tristino scored twice to turn it around. Then Richmond got a equaliser. Tristino is going to look to flip it this time with a hat-trick, but didn't really test on him over with that. Switched out to the far side for Richmond. And I believe it's Luis Asensio, who is a late sign-in for Richmond, who's come on. Filip Mirkovic's evening is done. And there was a little swing off the ball there, and Tristino is now going at it, and the referee is totally oblivious to what's going on. There's a shot down the other end. It's Tristino, Andrea Ruggiero. Ruggiero had the first, whatever it was, that Tristino, I didn't see it. And then Tristino went back and grabbed Ruggiero. Tristino incensed, but his teammates and the coach on telling him to sharpen, just stay focused on the game. They are not over the line yet. So it's actually, I think, for Richmond County, Michael Mollica, who's come in. Just going by the roster that I've got. Ten minutes remaining at St John's. The Pancyprians trailing going into the second half, but two defensive howlers from Richmond have gifted Tristino a brace, and the Pancyprians at the moment the 3 points. O'Connell making a mess of that. Espejo. O'Connell putting it into Rosed there. And also, in all that excitement with Tristino and Ruggiero, I forgot to mention George Gantales has come on to the left wing. Moreno looking for James Tristino. Sebastian Ruiz, can the Pancyprians seal this victory? Ruiz cuts back into Tristino, lovely first touch. Tristino, hat-trick hero. Victory surely for the Pancyprians. And Tristino has certainly got the last laugh there on Ruggiero. He's made sure to make that well known to Andrea Ruggiero. The first two goals had plenty of fortune from Tristino's perspective. That third one was beautifully taken. Super first touch round the corner and emphatically buried into the top 90. And Coach Holland will make his final change. Frimpong withdrawn, and I believe it's Sean Towie who's on. I'm not sure Coach Holland would be happy with how the Pancyprians have won these last two games, giving themselves this uphill challenge twice in a row in the league, going behind and relying on goals in the final half hour or so to turn things around, but also obviously so many positives to take with the Pancyprians fighting spirit. They have kept believing. Not such a tall order tonight, being just one down, but certainly last week when they were 3-1 down against Leros with 20 minutes left. Tristino's league tally for the season, now 6 goals, and he's also scored 2 in the Anisa Cup, so 8 total for the season. At the moment on course to be the Pancyprians' top scorer in the league for a 3rd consecutive campaign. Ball swung in, and that will go into the hands of Josh Levine. He made a really important save, Levine, in that first half when it was still just 1-0 to Richmond. That shouldn't be forgotten, even though he's not had too much to do in the second period. That was an important moment in the game. 2 down, and the task became a lot taller for the Pancyprians, and Richmond perhaps will have further wind in their sails. But as it is, it looks as if the Staten Islanders are going home empty-handed, and they're going to be left rueing the way that they've lost this game. First hour or so, well, I'd say really up to 56 minutes when the equaliser came, they'd done about as well as you could have expected. Were looking very dangerous on the counter-attack. Defensively, they weren't completely watertight, but they were limiting the Pancyprians mostly just to crosses and longer range efforts. But an awful error by LaRose opened the door for the Pancyprians, and then it's been 2 more goals for Tristino in these last 10 minutes, and second was another mistake. Adamovi, who had been looking suspect, dealing with the crosses all evening, making a meal of the corner kick, spilling it into Tristino, who couldn't help but score. So, looks as if Richmond will be sitting just 1 point above the automatic relegation spot. CPR rooted at the bottom of the table at the moment. They did draw against New York International earlier today. Pancyprians will go up into 3rd place. Juan Moreno coasting in. So Pancyprians have leapfrogged over Lansdowne, who lost last night to the Greeks. It's been a bad few weeks for the Lansdowne. They lost against Hoboken, they lost against Greeks, and they lost against Renegades. A yellow card dished out there to Turi. Pancyprians with this victory will still be 7 points off of the Greek Americans. The Greeks will visit New York International in their next league game next weekend, which we'll also have on Game of Frame. It's too many games for us to all put on the tune-in card. That might be of note, but yeah, we're going to have the Greeks against New York International at 2:30 p.m. next weekend, and then the Greeks will finish before the winter break, the midway point of the season, against Nyack. Tristino throwing himself in there, and there's going to be more off the balls here between Tristino and Saramutin, and Saramutin threw in an arm, and he might be in some trouble. It's a yellow card given to Saramutin, and Tristino again being urged to keep his cool. I can see why he's feeling quite aggrieved. He's taken a few knocks off the ball, Tristino. Does feel like he's been rather picked out. And actually, I think Coach Warner might take matters in his own hand. He's going to replace Tristino just before he rises to the bait. He's made his mark, though, with the goal scoring Tristino. A hat-trick to turn this game around for the Pancyprians. Kostas Karousis replacing Tristino. Ruiz has gone into the centre-forward position, and Gantalis on the right wing for the final few minutes of this contest. Here's Jens Hoff surging forwards, the Norwegian bulldozing through a tackle. Kane covering. Bale back to Towie. Brilliant ball by Gray. Gantalis towards the far post. Adamovi let it go through him, and salt in the wound for the Pancyprians. And it's the second goal in a blue shirt for George Gantalis. 3 goals for the Pancyprians in these final 15 minutes. It's perhaps a little harsh on Richmond, this scoreline. For a second consecutive league game, the Pancyprians have scored 3 goals in the final 20 minutes and scored 4 in total. I think also what I thought might happen, well, I mentioned it earlier in the half, was Richmond just have run out of steam a bit. Their performance has certainly been more flat. They've lost a lot of the quality they had in the final third. Really, for the majority of the second half, but especially since the hour mark went by, they were frequently perturbing the Pancyprians on the counter-attack in the first period, but they haven't connected in the same way in this second half. And it's back to the drawing board for Coach Harbakanovic's men. They need to shake off this defeat quickly. They really need to find some more points before we go into the midway point of the season. Pancyprian's other game before winter in the league, other than Nyack, is going to be against Hoboken on the final day of full season. That's going to be on the 14th of December, 4 p.m. kickoff here at St John's. That is a massive match because Hoboken, as I said earlier tonight, are looking at the moment the most likely to challenge the Greek Americans for the league titles. The referee blows the full-time whistle. The Pancyprians have turned the game around here. An early goal from Amir Islami, giving Richmond the shock lead, and they certainly were good for it going into the half-time whistle. But it all unravelled very quickly with two defensive errors, gifting Tristino goals. And then Tristino found his hat-trick with about 5 minutes remaining. Gantalis rubbing salt in the wound right before stoppage time. The Pancyprians get to within 7 points of the Greeks. Still a big gap. They need the Greeks to slip up, and the Pancyprians are going to have to be perfect. There's no doubt about that for the rest of the season. But they go into third place. Well, guys, I think all the players are going to probably just rush off the field here because it is a very cold one. So we will sign off here. I'll just let you really quickly know one more time what we've got coming up, or a few of them. We've got Hoboken against Vistula on Wednesday night, Zoom against Richmond County on Thursday evening, the Pancyprians against Nyack on Sunday. Also in the APSL, we're going to have New York International hosting the Greek Americans at 2:15. And I think we've got one more as well. We have to check the YouTube channel. But also Zoom Snyder against the Renegades in the Open Cup on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. That's definitely one to watch. And we'll have from plenty of the other competitions as well next weekend. It's going to be a big one. So make sure to tune in for that. But for now, big thank you for all of you for tuning in. Thanks for the Pancyprians for bringing us down. Thanks to our sponsor, Umbro. Thanks to Josh Ojokwu for doing great work behind the camera. This is Josh Pratt signing off from St John's, Belson State. Have a good night, everyone.